We're about to dive into a story that really gets under your skin. It blurs that line between just being hungry and, well, pure horror. It's about a meal that you absolutely can't say no to, but comes with a price you could never imagine.
So, let's start with this. Just picture it. You're lost, you're starving. And then, out of nowhere, you find a place that seems like an absolute miracle. But what if that miracle is actually a trap? What if the one thing you think is going to save you is actually the very thing that's going to destroy you? All right, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off on this really broken down, lonely road, maybe 20 kilometers outside of Kashipur. And this isn't your average back road, you know? It slices right through this super dense, dark forest, the kind of place you just know you shouldn't be, especially after the sun goes down. And this is where we meet our main guys. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, a car with two friends, Rahul and Vicky, just completely dies on them. Of course, there's no phone signal out here. All they can hear are these creepy forest sounds. And worse, they are starving, desperately hungry. And then they spot it. Just a single, faint yellow light cutting through all that blackness. That light, it leads them to this little place called the Jobdi Wala Daba, basically a simple, little roadside hut. It's run by a woman named Sonam. And right away, this is where we get our first little clue that something is off. She's got this gentle, warm smile, but her eyes are described as having this strange, unsettling coldness to them. It just doesn't match the smile. So the friends go inside, right? They're thinking, okay, we're saved. But what they're about to experience is going to go from pure relief to this creeping, awful dread really fast. Sonam brings them some really simple food. Dal, roti, some vegetables. But the taste? Oh man, it is heavenly. We're talking out of this world delicious. The kind of meal you'd never, ever expect to find in the middle of a forest. For that one moment, they feel like everything's going to be okay. But that feeling, it doesn't last. It dissolves pretty quick. Rahul, he's the more observant one, and he starts to feel that something is seriously wrong here. Yeah, the food is amazing, but it's being served in this unnerving total silence. And the tension just starts to build. Think about it. There's nobody else there. You can't hear any sounds from the kitchen, no pots, no pans. The only things they can hear are the tick-tock of an old clock and the leaves rustling in the dark woods right outside. They are completely and utterly alone. And right when that uneasy feeling is at its absolute peak, Vicky's body just gives out. It's sudden and terrifying. His hands start shaking like crazy. He gets dizzy, his breathing gets all heavy, and his eyes start turning red. Something is definitely happening to him. So they ask Sonam for help, and her response is just bone-chilling. She's so calm. She just says, "It's the jungle air, son. It has an effect." There's zero concern in her voice. No surprise at all. It's like she's just making an observation. And that's the key, right? She already knows exactly what's going on. Okay, so now for Rahul, suspicion has turned into straight-up fear. He knows he has to figure out what is really going on in this daba. And that leads him to a discovery that is going to change, well, everything. His eyes land on this old door back behind the kitchen. It's just a little bit ajar. And through that crack, he doesn't see darkness. He sees this strange, faint white color. He just has to know what's back there. So he creeps closer, pushes the door open just a little bit more. What do you think was inside? Human bones, piles of them, old, dry bones, just scattered all over the floor. And in that one awful, silent moment, the truth of this place and the truth about that delicious meal, it all just comes crashing down. So the secret's out. And now the woman with the gentle smile is about to show them who or what she really is and why she's so hungry. Rahul screams for them to run, and in that instant, Sonam completely transforms. That gentle smile twists into this cruel, inhuman grin. Her cold eyes start to glow in the dark, and her voice, it's not normal anymore. It's this cold, echoing whisper. Yeah, she's not just a host anymore. And then she tells them why. Years ago, she says, her own family starved to death, right there, in that same forest. They begged for help, but nobody ever came. So She started her little daba. And the secret ingredient in that heavenly food? Well, it's the travelers who get lost in the jungle. What happens next is just pure chaos. A desperate fight for their lives against something that isn't human anymore. It's a chase through the dark woods that's going to end in a massive blaze of fire. They just take off, running blindly into the pitch-black forest, getting torn up by thorns. But they can't get away from her laugh. It's this hollow, cruel sound that seems to be coming from everywhere at once. And just when they think it's over, that all hope is gone, a huge part of the forest just erupts into flames. And in the distance, they see figures running toward the fire. Help! Rescuers! As help finally reaches them, they look back. The daba is completely swallowed by flames. It burns so fast, it turns to ash in just a few moments. And Sonam? She's just gone. Vanished into the smoke like she was never even there. So the friends, they make it out alive. But the story doesn't end there. You see, some places, even after they've burned to the ground, they leave behind a legend, a ghost story that just refuses to die. And this is the part that will really stick with you. That daba, you won't find it on any map. But the locals, they whisper about it. They say on really dark nights, when the cell service just mysteriously drops, that single yellow light sometimes comes back. They talk about seeing a silent woman with no shadow. And if you listen really closely to the wind, you might just hear a faint whisper asking, "Are you hungry, son?" Because in the end, this was never really a story about a haunted restaurant, was it? It's a chilling reminder that some places don't just feed your hunger, they eat your soul. And that leaves us with one last, pretty unsettling question for you. After all this, if you ever find yourself on a lonely road at night and you see that single yellow light in the darkness, would you stop?